What up, guys? Before we dive into our conversation with former NFL player Micah Hyde, this episode is presented by hemp-derived THC beverage Hyde's Hail Mary, which makes this one pretty cool because it's founded by Micah Hyde, and we're going to talk all about it. Hyde's Hail Mary is meant to be a better social alternative to alcohol. Each can has 5 milligrams of THC, only 20 calories, under 6 grams of sugar, and it's built to give you a smooth, stackable buzz without the next day regret. And I've got to say, the apple shandy is mother effing gas, dude. It's light, refreshing, easy to drink, crisp, and doesn't feel heavy at all. I've already gone through a couple of boxes of these already, and their merch is tough too, dude. I'm rocking the hat with the heavyweight hoodie. So if THC drinks aren't your thing, you can support the brand and support us by grabbing some merch using our code. Use code SAMETIMENEXTWEEK15 for 15% off at the checkout. That's linked in the episode description. Like and subscribe, and we appreciate Hyde's Hail Mary for sponsoring the show. Let's get into it. Played 11 seasons in the league with the Green Bay Packers and Buffalo Bills, drafted in the 5th round out of Iowa in 2013, played 158 career games with 128 starts, 24 career interceptions, and 644 tackles, Pro Bowl selection in 2017, second team All-Pro in 2017 and 2021, and last but certainly not least, Buffalo Bills team captain from 2021 to 2023. Again, I know you probably don't care about any of those, but when you hear all of that, like, what does it mean to you?
Yeah, it seems like a past life, right? Like I've been so diving headfirst into this the beverage space that I kind of just don't even really think about the football side anymore. But it's cool. I feel like it was an awesome first career, right? Like I lived out my dream. I was able to do things, and obviously my life now it is from being able to compete at a high level, and whether if it's the people I've met over the years, or the money I've earned, or whatever it may be, obviously I know my life now is an aftermath of having a football career, right? So I don't really think about that much anymore. I'm kind of a driven person. I set my mind on something and I attack it. That's probably why I was a professional athlete, but now it's into this hemp beverage space, and but it's cool to every now and then, relive those memories. My son loves it. He watches highlights all the time and stuff like that. And we share the same name, Micah Hyde. So he likes to show his friends some videos and highlights and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool.
All right. Well, you got him into football, or what's going on over there, dude?
A little bit, yeah. He has his little football guys. We got him some football characters over the years, just for Christmas, his birthday, and stuff like that. So games will be on. He'll sit right in front of the TV. He's 5, and he'll play with his football guys, and he'll reenact plays and stuff like that. So he's I wouldn't say he's heavy into it yet, which I love, because I didn't really start playing tackle football till I think it was 7th grade. So I'm going to try to keep him on that same path. I don't want him, kind of doing the younger tackle stuff. And so right now he's in soccer and baseball, and but eventually, if he wants to pursue that football route, I'll be all for it.
Okay, well, we're looking forward to maybe a future safety for the Bills or somewhere, in the future. Let's turn back kind of the way back time machine here and go back to the small town where you're from. Is it Fostoria, Ohio?
Yeah, you said it right. Good job.
Fostoria, Ohio, a small blue-collar town where sports were just a part of everyday life.
Yeah.
What was it like growing up in Fostoria?
It was cool. I mean, that's all we knew, right? Like, it was, I think, 11,000 people, I think, is the population. Small town, everybody knows everyone. I said this on a conversation, I think, a few years ago, and it kind of has stuck with me. I think I knew from growing up in Fostoria, I knew every single person that I graduated with, which was a class of 96 or something like that. I knew where they lived in town, right? Like, that's how crazy of a concept it was, growing up in such a small place. But everyone knows everyone. Single parent, my mom, she did amazing raising, me and 3 other siblings. And the whole town pretty much raised me. My friends' parents, the coaches in town, the teachers, just people in the community. So, who I am today is definitely because of where I grew up, and just the people that come from Fostoria are just amazing. I'm still trying to do work in Fostoria, try to, give back to the youth and let them understand, even being from a small town in Ohio, you can still make it and be whoever you want to, be whoever you want to be. So it was a very, very unique, special place.
Were you playing a bunch of sports in high school and middle school?
Yeah. So growing up, I football, basketball, baseball, and soccer, right? Summer's just full of stuff. and we didn't have a soccer program in middle school. Yeah, I think 7th to 8th grade we didn't have a soccer program because we just didn't have enough kids to play. And that's what I loved. And so my mom, was basically like, you're gonna play tackle football, and I'm like, I don't want to play tackle football. I want to play soccer. Obviously, she was right. Having the career that I end up having in football, but who knows? I could have been overseas making $200-300 million right now playing soccer with no neck surgery and all that. But she was somewhat right for sure. Put me down the path playing football. But I played baseball and basketball too all the way through high school, and it's just something that we did, right? Like, it was like, football season's over, let's go play basketball, go to the gym the next day. Like, basketball season's over, let's get outside and start hitting the baseball. Like, that's just what we grew up doing. And the varsity high school football, basketball, and baseball team was our role models. That's all we knew. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, we got to get you in the celebrity basketball game this weekend. I'm not sure if the cutoffs already happened.
Well, I don't know about that. My shot's rusty right now, bro. I don't know if you want that for sure.
Out of 10, how many do you think you're making from the 3-point line?
Out of 10?
Out of 10.
We doing like the high school 3-point line?
Yeah, high school line for
high
sure.
School I could. I'm above average. I'm gonna go with 6.
6? Okay.
I might miss the first 2. I'll get in a rhythm, miss another couple, but I'll finish out with 6 out of 10. I like to think I got a little bit of confidence, I guess, left.
I love it, man. Liam and I behind the camera, we grew up playing basketball, AAU, traveled all the time. That was our main sport. We're both born in Indiana, so the state of basketball.
Ooh, Space Center, baby. I went there a few times. Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, we played there a few times. How old are you?
29.
29. Okay, so I'm a little bit older than you. So we wouldn't have played against each other. But yeah, we were at the Space Center a few summers competing, and that place is amazing, man. All those basketball courts and everything.
Yeah, we were crushed by Game 7 of the NBA Finals. Just a heads up with Hallie, tearing his Achilles, going for 9 points in the first quarter. Yeah, he's shaking his head right now.
Yes.
Yeah, it's definitely tough. Well, all right, cool. So you played a lot of sports, and then high school. Okay, high school you played a lot of sports. Did I read you were a quarterback in high school? Like, you were playing multiple positions in football?
Yeah, I didn't come off the field. Like I said, it's a small town, man. I was quarterback on offense, defense. I played corner and safety, and then all the special teams. I was the punter, I was the kicker, I was the punt returner, I was the kick returner, kick field goals. It was I did it all.
Do you have a state championship in any of the sports?
Oh man, this is the thing, man. This is the thing. This is the thing that haunts me to this day. And we talk about my past career of playing, playing sports and playing football. I have never won a state title, a national title, or a Super Bowl, right? Like those are the 3 things you get into it for, right? Like, you want to be able to be the best that year in that sport. Never got over the hump, man. We had some very good teams. Seemed like basketball, we had a very good team my junior year, got upsetted in the second round of the playoffs. You know how it goes.
Yeah.
It just never worked out. So what about you guys?
Liam, he was a nominee or candidate for Mr. Tennessee in basketball.
Okay. Oh, he's a hooper.
He's a hooper. This guy played college ball behind the camera, but and I don't want to bring up a sore subject, but had like 4 points in the finals game, Liam. And his mom thought he was smoking weed before the game. And I went over to his house, and then his mom drug tested both of us like the next day. We're like, Bernie, relax, dude, relax. Like, we're not doing anything. He just had a bad game.
You must have had a shitty game to get drug tested afterwards.
His mom was like, are you serious, bro? Yeah, it was tough, man. They had a good squad. That was a private school. I played ball at a public school growing up until my freshman year, and then sophomore through senior year went to Lipscomb High School, and that was super fundamental private school. Pump fake. Kind of, I was the point guard facilitator. Never got over the hump. We played a lot of like really good public school teams here in Nashville, and we didn't even get close. But yeah, Liam got close and played some ball and unfortunately got hurt in college. But let's get into some college then. I mean, were you highly recruited before you went to Iowa? Like, what was the recruiting process like for you coming out of high school?
Yeah, so out of high school, I was getting recruited by all the MAC schools, right? So I was right next to Toledo and BG and those type of schools. So family has went to those schools, so I knew those programs pretty well. But then it wasn't until Iowa was kind of there the whole time recruiting me. They didn't send me an offer, but they were there the whole time. And then my brother was up at Michigan State, So I always knew that like I could always go to Michigan State, but I'm not gonna sit here and follow in his footsteps. I don't want to do that. He already pissed me off too much, growing up, sharing room with him and stuff like that. I can't do that again. So it wasn't until the last weekend of the recruiting the recruiting window. I went out to Iowa, got a offer, committed right then and there. Said I want to play Big Ten football, right? So that was my recruiting experience.
Iowa is known for this disciplined defense and toughness. I mean, how did that kind of shape you, I guess, your freshman year going into that? Was there almost like a culture shock from high school to Iowa?
Well, I think no matter what, it was a culture shock just in the sense of like, being 8 hours away from home. That was the first time I've experienced that, right? And so was there all by myself, didn't know anybody. And anytime you get put in that situation, right, as a 18-year-old kid, you're like, man, I'd rather go home. You get on, which back then Instagram, this is kind of showing my age, but Instagram wasn't really popping back then. It was like Facebook and stuff. You get on Facebook and you see all your friends, any given weekend over at BG or up at, Michigan or whatever, and partying and hanging out. And I'd be like, I had FOMO so bad, man. But I knew that if I just stuck with it, something good would happen, right? And don't get me wrong, I did want to transfer a few times and get up out of there. But it was best for me to stay, right? And so when I went out to Iowa, it was kind of a shock, but once I got, settled in and stuff like that, you realize like, wow, like that program coached by Coach Ferentz and all his staff, it's an NFL program, right? Like they don't care about any of the BS. Like, what can you go to class? Can you get good grades? And can you come onto the football field and can you help us win games? And so I learned so much from that program, and it really does get you, NFL ready. That's why you see a lot of guys that, from Iowa and the NFL are very successful, play decades in the league because it's basically the same program rolled over into the league. So I definitely learned a lot and was very appreciative of what they taught me. And, still to this day, I'm always going to give them all the credit just because they kind of molded me into the football player and the person that I am.
Yeah, I love it. And then at what point did you feel like the NFL was like a real possibility for you then?
I think it was my freshman year, the bowl game, which was wild. We made it to the Orange Bowl my freshman year. One of the corners got hurt like for a couple plays, and I had to go in. True freshman, Orange Bowl, Miami, Florida. Like, where the hell am I at? What am I doing on this football field right now? Lined up against DT Demaryius Thomas, right? Rest in peace. Yeah, and so, rest in peace, yeah. I was lined up against him, and I'm like, they ran the wing T. So like everybody's inside, the numbers, or I guess inside the hash marks, right? And he's lined up super wide. It's just me and him. Like, and I'm 9 yards off. If they throw a now to this guy, and I got to tackle him at 170 pounds, like, I don't know why in the press box they didn't call down and be like, throw it to him and make that little scrawny light-skinned dude tackle him right now. But they didn't. So for a couple plays, I was in there. And that following year, a bunch of our guys got drafted. And I was like, okay, I'm next up, right, into getting on the field permanently. The NFL it's starting to make sense. So then my sophomore year, I started, and I played with a bunch of guys that got drafted after that season. And I'm like, okay, like I played with those same guys, right? So now I know that I have a shot. But I stayed humble about it. And I was like, look, man, I know I got a bunch of stuff to still work on. I can't play at that level yet. And, Iowa does a good job of keeping you humble, keeping you grounded. And so I played, my next 2 years. After my senior year, was able to declare for the draft.
Can you imagine if they threw it to Demaryius is it Demetrius Thomas? Demarius Thomas?
I think it was Demarius Thomas, yeah.
Demarius Thomas, and you got the interception on him? You picked it off for a pick six?
That would have been nuts, but I'm pretty sure that would have never happened because I'm 9 yards off. And I like in my head, I'm thinking like, if they throw it to this guy right now and I got to tackle him, like,
oh man,
it's over with. It's an easy touchdown. So I don't know why they didn't call from the press box, like I said, but hey, Good thing they didn't.
I mean, if that play happened, if I were you, I would just be like, yeah, I'm done after this freshman year, bro. I think I'm just going to go to the league and try myself out.
Oh, 100%. They wouldn't have thrown me back out there. They're like, what are you doing?
So let's go into like draft day. So draft day comes around and you land in Green Bay in the 5th round. I got a question, man. Were you always kind of viewed as this underdog? Like 5th round might be, I don't know. That's you kind of wanted to go sooner, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I mean, because it's like I already knew what it was, right? I went to the combine, and you go to the combine and all that type of stuff, which is you can't pay me no amount of money to ever go back to that. Like it's ridiculous. For 4 days, you're standing on a stage half naked. You know, people are taking measurements and weight and all that. Like, this isn't football. Like, I grew up my entire life. Like, you put me on a baseball field, you put me on a soccer field, basketball court. Like, come on, let's play. Like that's what I do. I don't run no 40s. I don't do none of this stuff. Like, I that's just how I've always been. So going to the combine, you see, the guys that are supposed to go first round, and all the cameras are following them and doing that type of stuff. So the underdog, that was easy for me to kind of, go to the combine, not really be a huge highlight or anything like that. And I was fine with that. But at the same time, I saw what those other guys were doing at the combine and kind of their film and stuff like that. And I'm like, these dudes can't compete with me. But, I understand, this whole process, and you got to make somebody fall in love with you. And so even for the draft that day, which was the second or third day, first round's for Thursday. I think it was Saturday. So I was the third day, and I was like, man, I'm not even watching this. Like, there was already some guys picked in front of me that I knew. I was like, man, I'm better than this guy or whatever. But so I went golfing with the buddies, man. We were out there golfing. We were hanging out on the golf course. I got a phone call from Green Bay, Wisconsin, answered it, talked to whoever I got to talk to, and they told me I was going up to Green Bay. Hung up the phone, and we just started partying, man. Just started hanging out on the golf course, throwing our golf clubs all over the place. It's still probably golf clubs in the pond out there that was from 2013. But very, very cool experience to share it with my buddies. But always been an underdog, right? Like I just knew that was going to happen.
What golf course were you on?
Hometown course.
Nice.
Yeah, hometown course in Fostoria is the hole 12. I always remember that hole for being the hole that got drafted on.
You hit a hole in one right after that or something?
No, definitely. Yeah, we stopped playing, man. We drove through all the other people's fairways, screaming and yelling. They were probably pissed off at us, but we didn't care. We were ready to get to the clubhouse and have some drinks.
I love it. And then what's that process look like? Like, you get the call, and then how many days in between do you have to get ready to go up to Green Bay?
Oh, so I think it was. So obviously, I was my senior year of college. I was home. Man, I can't remember exactly. I want to say it was a couple weeks to where you have to report for the rookie camp. And I actually was graduating the same day as the rookie camp weekend. So instead of graduating in Iowa, I went to the rookie camp and participated in that. So I want to say it was a few weeks, maybe 2 weeks or something like that. So I went back to school, worked out a little bit for a few days, finished up with my degree, and then reported to Green Bay.
So you walk in to the building as a rookie, and your quarterback is this guy named Aaron Rodgers. He's in his prime. Some guys coming to the league and their QB situation is a little sketchy. Mm-hmm. What was your first impression of A-Rod?
I honestly couldn't believe what I was. Once again, like being in the Orange Bowl, true freshman, and then kind of that same experience walking into the Green Bay Packers locker room, right? Walking past the Lombardi trophies. It was all surreal. Like looking back now, being removed from the NFL for a year now, 35 years old, and looking back at my situation when I was 22, like I don't think I realized the magnitude of what I was doing, right? Like I was just, because I knew I had to get better, right? And that's how my mind always worked. Like, yeah, I'm here, but like I could be gone tomorrow. I need to make a name for myself. I need to make plays. I need to do all this type of stuff. So being in the locker room with Aaron Rodgers, I just, it was awesome. Clay Matthews, BJ Raji, you can go up and down the lineup and they just won a Super Bowl a few years before that. So they were, top of the game, Green Bay Packers, that type of stuff. So it was a real fun experience walking in there, but I knew that was only the beginning. I had to make a name for myself and start practicing well.
Yeah. So what were practices like going up against him then?
They were fun, man. They were fun.
Yeah.
If you could get a pick off Aaron Rodgers, you could pick off anybody in the National Football League, right? Like,
yeah.
And I was able to do that a few times over the years. and just, the receivers that they had, Jordy Nelson, James Jones, Randall Cobb, just Devontae Adams when he was young. Just I can go up and down the line of just the amazing players that were there that, kind of helped me, with my craft and get better. And the coaches that I had, the players that I played with, was just a really cool experience.
Yeah, being close to Marshawn, his podcast, I always hear about the LOB. So I'm wondering, did it get chippy with you guys on the defense, between the defense and the offense then?
Yeah, it definitely did. There were some battles. And speaking of Seattle, man, they had our number too. Man, they had our number for the 2014 season, I think it was. I think they won the Super Bowl in 2013. Yeah. We opened up with them in 2014. Lost the opening game, and then went back there for the NFC Championship game that year, and that was the onside kick. Oh my God, that whole game, that was a disaster. But we had some battles, and within offense, defense of the team, but also with Seattle and Marshawn and them.
I'm curious, fans see this one side of Aaron Rodgers on TV, but what is he actually like inside the locker room?
He's a great dude, man. Someone you can sit down with and talk about anything under the sun. He's personable. I think that, when it comes to the whole media and stuff like that, they're gonna paint a narrative of anybody. And I think Aaron's gotten to the point now where, and I can't speak for him, I'm just assuming he's gotten to the point now where it's like he doesn't even care about what the media is pushing out, right? Like, because it's not true. His teammates know who he is and all that. And I think at the same time, he only lets people who he really trusts, into his bubble, right? Because if you're around people all day that want to take pictures and want to get to know you and want to do all that stuff, like you're gonna keep everybody at an arm's length, right? And so I think that's just the person that he is. But once you are in his bubble and you're hanging out with him, you're having real life conversations with him, he's a cool ass dude.
Yeah, last question on him, then we'll move on. Is he done?
Ooh, I have no idea, man.
Didn't he get the Green Bay Packers coach, or the Mike McCarthy is the head coach for the Steelers, right?
Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm just going to say that the numbers he put up this year are better than half of the quarterbacks that played, right? Like, if you're talking just strictly numbers, put all the narratives, all the age, all that stuff aside. I mean, I feel like if he wants to play, a team should bite if they don't have another quarterback.
Well, we've got our quarterback, Cam Ward, but I think we'll stick with Cam for now, Liam. Okay, we'll stick with him. We've got Salah.
Got to give him some more time. Yeah. Oh, Salah's going to get him right. Situational football, when to make, big throws, how to control the game. There's a lot of things that go into that Robert Saleh would teach him. He's a great coach too. He's a motivator. So that's good what they got down in Tennessee.
Yeah, a couple new coaches too. It's tough being a Titans fan, man. We lost Derrick Henry, Tannehill with the finger roll celebration, Sticks, A.J. Brown. It's been hard over here the past couple of years, but I think our darkest days are finally behind us. So
yeah, we had some battles with them too, man. Yeah. They had our number quite a bit too, man. Tackling Derrick Henry was not fun.
Did you tackle him a couple times? Bro,
you can YouTube right now. Micah Hyde tackles Derrick Henry. And I mean, I got the tackle, right? But he had a 25 yard head start, me playing middle of the field safety. And I remember the play like it was yesterday. Our end didn't crash far enough, didn't make it. Derrick Henry's running full speed at me. And I'm just like, hey, got to do it. Got to nut up and get him down. And, he ran. He saw me. I saw him. We made eye contact, and he didn't even try to stiff arm anything. He said, I'm running through you. So I got him down. I cut his legs, but that shit was not fun.
Oh wait, he got one of his meanest stiff arms is against the what's his name?
That was Jano. That was my dog Josh Norman. Yeah, that was
oh my gosh.
I was right literally like 2 feet away from that.
Dude, that could have been you, bro.
No, the hell it wouldn't have, because I wasn't gonna try to tackle him high like that. I watched the tape. Not saying Jano didn't. I love you, Jano, but yeah, that was, especially on his right side when he's holding the ball in his left hand and he has his right arm, his dominant arm to stiff arm. Like, you got to watch film to know that, if he's on his his left side, he's able to carry the rock and stiff arm with his right, he's coming at you 9 times out of 10. So I would have went low for sure.
Yeah. Hopefully he'll get a ring, man. I'm definitely rooting for the King in Baltimore. But
He's a beast, man. Great career. He's been doing it for a long time, man.
on that note, 2017, you head to Buffalo. I immediately make an impact. Okay, dude. Pro Bowl, All Pro, eventually a team captain. What made Buffalo feel like home for you?
Well, I think it was the first time, maybe the first time in my life where like they wanted me. Like that sounds crazy, but like we talked about underdog, right? Like they saw Sean McDermott saw what I did in Green Bay and how many positions I was playing and the plays that I was making, punt returning, playing defense, playing all the special teams, stuff like that, like where he was like, oh, we want that guy. And so when I went there, it was kind of just like, learn this defense. You and Poe are going to be the quarterbacks of the defense and get everybody lined up. And like, this is yours. Like, make it what you want to make it. And so, that, like I said, that was the first time that I felt like, oh shoot, I'm wanted. They want me here. I'm gonna make a name for myself. I'm gonna ball out. I'm making plays. Felt comfortable. Just it was my fiance at the time, but we got married and then bought our first home in Buffalo, got a dog, got pregnant. Our son was born, not born in Buffalo, born in San Diego, but, took him to, so like everything, it just felt like home, right? Like my life started unfolding. I was playing well football, on the field, off the field, life was kind of, shaping out. And so, Buffalo is always going to feel like home in that sense, just because that's where I was able to start, the family and all that.
Was there a specific moment where younger guys started to look up to you?
Man, that's a good question. I really don't. I can't answer that question. Just because I know that I wanted to be a role model for dudes in the NFL, and still to this day, like I take pride in like having real life conversations with dudes when it comes to like whether if it's X and O's playing on the football field or like off the field and how to invest or relationship stuff or kid stuff or whatever it may be. So I don't know when it necessarily happened. I think with a lot of things that I was involved in when it comes to the nonprofit, Magic for Youth Foundation that I created, or the camps that we were putting on or the events that we were doing in Buffalo, and just inviting the my teammates to be a part of it. I think maybe that's when they saw like, oh, like this, a different side of Micah that we look up to, right? And maybe even on the field, he's making plays, he's doing whatever, he's going about it the right way. They started to look up to me, but I don't know when that necessarily like happened for everybody. But I think it's cool that some guys still reach out and try to get some advice as to how to go about certain situations, because just because I lived it.
Yeah, kind of the OG in the locker room. Talk a little bit about that fan base, because it's one of the best fan bases in the league.
Yeah, amazing fan base. Bills Mafia is everything. It's funny because you hear, a lot of other teams win, the championship, or they're on TV and they're shouting out these fan bases and doing that type of stuff. Like, yeah, I'm sure a lot of these other organizations have great fans and stuff like that, but Bills Mafia is different. Like, it's a community, and once you live there, you feel it. We lived there for 8 years, and it was a remarkable experience, just because like your neighbors really care for you. Like, we would be gone half the year during the off season out here in San Diego, and so our house was just there, and they would be checking on it. Anybody rolls up to your house that's not expected, we're getting a text message or a call, and not in like some like stalker peeping Tom way. It was more like just looking out for us, right? And so I love the people in that community and everything that they stand for, and they're all hardworking. To fight through that snow and those storms each and every winter and still hold the fort down and say, we love this place, this is our home. Like, that takes a special person. Like, I grew up in the cold. I went to Iowa, it was cold. I went to Green Bay, it was freezing. And Buffalo for all those years. But now I'm in San Diego, and now I look at it and I'm like, those people are really, really, really special. Like, just they rally around the players, they rally around the organization. And on top of that, like, any nonprofit event that we put on, the amount of support that is from Bills Mafia is insane. And like, these people aren't they're not just billionaires just full of money and stuff like it's just your normal people, that are donating money because they want to help the youth, wherever we have events. And that's like remarkable to me. It's insane. So love them to death.
Not only in the community of Buffalo, but you see guys like Tua get hurt and they're throwing money to his foundation.
Exactly. And that's just the mindset that they have, right? Like, it's more than just X's and O's. Obviously, we're all I'm Bills Mafia now, right? And we're all trying to get a Super Bowl win. That's exactly what everybody wants. But I think that within this whole chase of pursuing that, those people have the best mindset about it. It's X's and O's. And we want to try to get a Super Bowl, but if we don't, we're going to go about it the right way. So when that day comes, when they finally get a Super Bowl, and I'm saying when we finally get a Super Bowl, oh man, that place is going to be insane.
Right, a future on the Bills once I saw everybody else was out. And let me ask you this, Micah, was it a catch or was it an interception?
Man, I'm a defensive guy. You know this. I'm a defensive guy. Playing in the NFL my entire career, I always knew that you cannot make it close. A tie always goes to the receiver, right? So defensive guy, I've known that my entire life. If it's a tie, it goes to offensive guy. And if you look at that replay, and Cooks has the ball, whether if it's shared or not, with two knees down.
Yeah,
I've always been told that is a catch. And if I was in that situation as a defensive player, I come up with the ball, they show that replay, I would understand why they're calling it a catch, because that's the way I've been taught my entire life, right? Or not entire life, but playing in the NFL. So I'm standing by it was a catch, but it is what it is, man. You can't do anything about it now.
Yeah, can't do anything about it now. And then before we transition to Hyde's Hail Mary, kind of life after football, can you kind of take me through what the last maybe season or two looked like for you?
So the 25 season, I was out basically the whole year working out. I wasn't retired yet, but I was like, hey, like if they call up and want me to come in and help any way, I'm going to do it. So they actually did, and reported back there last season, which was 25 season, on December 1st, was there for the playoff run, for a month and a half or whatever. Ended up losing to the Chiefs in the playoffs. After that, officially retired. So this whole season, I was out of the game, and really just watching it from a fan's perspective. It's cool because you see how exciting the NFL is, right? And like we did like a family pick 'em every single week, and so you kind of get competitive. You want to win, you want to pick those games, you want to pick the game winners and stuff like that. But at the same time, you see like how the narratives of everything just get so swayed within the daily. Like when you're in the building that week, like you're not talking like how the media is talking and stuff like that, and it's just a total different world being a fan versus being in the trenches and practicing every day and doing all that type of stuff. And I feel like as a player, I feel like I did a good job of cutting all that stuff out and not really following what the narratives may be or what the media was talking about, because you can't perform at your highest level and be listening to what everybody is saying. Like it's impossible. You have to be able to like have that confidence in yourself and knowing that if you have a bad game, well, shit, I'm gonna go out the next week and I'm a ball. Like it's as simple as that. So it was a pretty cool experience, but it also gave me time to sit back here with the kids, man. And we have a 5 and a 4-year-old. We have a third one on the way. May 1st is our due date. So thank you, man. So we're just enjoying life, man. Our kids are young. I've always wanted to be present each and every day, through the chaos. There was a chaotic morning this morning that everybody was pissed off. But it's fun because at the end of the night, you as you're sitting in bed with your wife and you're like, damn, that was crazy, but I loved every minute of it and I miss them. I want to go wake them up right now because I miss them, so it gave me that perspective on life and really, like you saying all the accolades of that I had at the very beginning, mean nothing to me now because I'm so caught up in the husband and dad life and I love every second of it that, it's just a amazing life that I have.
It's awesome to hear, and congrats again. Was it easy to kind of step away from football then?
Easy is not the word. I feel like I prepared myself. I always understood that, tomorrow, the NFL, any injury or whatever, it could be gone. Right. So I feel like I always somewhat prepared myself, whether if it was dealing with my nonprofit or, business endeavors on the side, stuff like that, speaking with my advisors, just, if I don't make another dollar, what's this look like? Just those type of conversations that you got to have it didn't make it made it easier. But then also, the way my body feels now versus after football games is so much better. So in that sense, it is definitely easier.
Love it. So, all right, transition to Hyde's Hail Mary here, right?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
After more than a decade in the NFL, you've seen the alcohol culture in the locker rooms, the celebration, the events, all of it. And somewhere along the way, you started thinking about alternatives that felt better for the body and the mind, which eventually led to Hyde's Hail Mary.
Yeah.
So where did the idea for Hyde's Hail Mary first come from?
Ooh, very first thought of it. Well, I started, like we talked about, before this interview, I enjoyed the edibles because at the end of the night, after having a long day, playing football and competing at the highest level, right? And then coming home to kids, being young, getting them fed, getting them, bathed and into bed. It's just a long day. And so edibles kind of helped me relax at the end of the night, right? And like it helped me sleep through the night and all that type of stuff. So I've done that for the last couple of years, and I really enjoyed those. But then it got to me being retired, and I started trying these beverages, and I'm like, they either taste too weedy or like they just didn't taste or they're either too fruity, too sweet for me and whatnot. So I said, you know what, like let me just go ahead and try to come up with my own. And so I had some cool guys that I got in contact with. Jim Akis out of Ohio, he's an attorney that kind of helped me, file everything. Doug Fulton, he was with Emergent Beverages, which is now something else. But he helped me kind of start, the Hail Mary process as well. And so they, kind of let me just share with them kind of my ideas and stuff like that. And we started building it. And, here it is now, man. 5 milligrams THC, CBD, CBG. And it's like for me, it's the perfect mix that gives me a slight buzz, right? Like I'm all for low THC. I'm in that high THC, the 50 milligrams, 100. I'm not doing that. It's low THC. I enjoy kind of the stackable, beer, like I mentioned, being from a small town and just always, doing that, playing beer pong and stuff like that. So I enjoy that sense of having one, maybe two. And that's how Hail Mary was created.
So was there ever a point in like your NFL career that you were drinking any beer or alcohol or anything like that, and you were kind of just like, man, it's getting too old for this shit?
Yeah, I think right around I was probably like your age, man. When I turned 30, I was like, man, like because we'd have family and friends come into town, and after the game, like I would always, everybody was hanging out, right? Everyone was a part of Bill's Mafia throughout the whole day, the game day. So when they got home, they were all lit, and I was playing catch up, right? Like, I just got done with the game. Let me have some food, and let me start drinking. Let me do whatever. And so, I would wake up Monday mornings and just feel like shit, man. Like it take me till about Wednesday, which is our first game day, to really get back. And, that's not good being a professional athlete. And I've always known that, like even back in college, right? When, we were throwing parties and we were hanging out, we were doing all that type of stuff. Like you always know that alcohol is not really good for you. It dehydrates you. And I'm not, listen, I have drank a lot of alcohol in my day. I'm not telling anybody not to do it. I'm just saying for me personally now, I don't enjoy the hangovers and the way it makes me feel. And so it was probably around like 30-ish where I was like, I'm done with this. Like, I don't want to do this alcohol anymore. At weddings, I'll have a few drinks and, celebrations and stuff like that. But now I'm strictly sticking to the Hail Mary.
Yeah, well, I mean, once you get older, you feel the hangovers worse and worse.
Yeah, bro.
You're laying in bed. I'm the same way, man. I'll wake up on a Sunday and be like, man, I can't even really get out of bed right now. But I know I got to go get some water and then maybe order some food. And then you feel like crap. And then you want to go sweat it out at the sauna. And it's like, I don't even know if I can make it to the sauna today, dude.
Hey, bro, wait a few more years. It only gets worse, bro. It only gets worse from here. And we've heard it, right? Like parents have always said that. Older people have always said that. And you're like, man, I'm 18. I'm 21. I'm 25. I'm good. I'm drinking whatever I'm drinking. I feel fine. But no, like it catches up to you for sure.
My question was here: who is Hyde's Hail Mary really built for? Kind of the people that are over the alcohol and over the hangovers, and the people that are my age are like looking at your text message at 3 a.m. What are you doing? Well, oh shit, probably shouldn't have sent that one.
Exactly. Exactly. It's all the above, man. It's all the above. And I think that the hardest thing for me right now is I really believe this wholeheartedly is like it's also for athletes because it gives you a way to still socialize. Still gives you a buzz, a smooth buzz. It's gradual, but then you're not waking up the next day and feeling like crap. So it's for athletes as well.
I love it. I love it. Okay, cool. We are going to get into one of our custom segments. It's called Sippin' Stories, presented by Hyde's Hail Mary. So we've got a special segment here for you called Sippin' Stories, presented by Hyde's Hail Mary. Go ahead and crack this. Hope you got yours, right? You drink yours already?
He drank it already.
I'll open another one.
There you go.
My roommate keeps stealing the boxes in my room. I've got 2 rooms right here. He's like, "Can I get some more?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude, but you got to use the promo code once this box is done, bro." All right, cool. Let's get into it. So, the first question I got here is, what was your welcome to the NFL moment?
Welcome to the NFL moment. I think it was probably walking in the Green Bay Packer locker room, but also I remember playing against Peyton Manning at Denver, and him after the game. I said, what's up to him. Obviously, wanted to give him his flowers and say, one of the greatest quarterbacks ever, blah, blah, blah. And he said, like, thank you, Micah, or something like that. Like knew who I was, right? And I was like, oh shit, like, yeah, I'm somebody. You know what I'm saying? I was feeling myself, but there's a bunch of welcome to NFL moments. But walking in the locker room, playing against, my very first preseason game, Larry Fitzgerald, line up against him, and then like the Peyton Manning stories, stuff like that. There was a bunch of them.
Yeah, I mean, we're Tennessee alumni. We're big Peyton guys over here. It always feels like 98. They keep selling the 98 jersey. It's like, dude, it's been like more than 20 years now, dude. Like almost 20 years. We got to get over that
Crazy.
98 jersey. Who was one teammate you'd want to share a drink with the most, like after a game?
One teammate I would love to share a drink with the most. Throughout those 7-8 years in Buffalo, my boy Jay Poe. Just we always were in this. We were synced mentally just on what we had to do to help the defense and help the get everybody lined up and help the team and stuff like that. So I know he's stepped away from alcohol a long time ago as well. He's a couple years sober, so I know when it comes to Hail Mary, he can indulge, and so maybe J Poe.
Love that. What's a locker room moment fans would never believe actually happens? Fans love hearing these inside the locker room stories. Is there one maybe little PG-13 you can share with us, dude?
Oh man, some locker room story. Oh, I gotta. This is I can say this one. So Lee Smith, he's actually in Knoxville, right? I played with him for a few years in Buffalo. He played, over a decade in the league as well. He left the team. I think he might have went to Vegas, or I forget what team he went to after Buffalo, but everybody in Buffalo loves him. He's a slappy. He's one of those guys in the locker room that he brings the team. He's a glue guy, right? He brings the team together, and he doesn't care, how many snaps he gets or touchdowns and stuff like that. He's all about the boys, right? He wants to spend time with the boys, and he wants to hang out and share stories and be funny and stuff like that. Well, after he left Buffalo, randomly I got a package and I open it up and it's a blow up. It's a blow up doll. And I'm like, who in the hell would send me this blow up doll? And it's just like months later. Like I never found out who did it. And it like our mail would come right to our locker, right? So I'm excited. There's a box and there's a bag or whatever in front of my locker. I'm open it up and it's a fucking blow up doll. And I'm like, and then obviously the mouth is it has a mouth. And so I'm like, who the hell would send me this? Like, and I've never told this story before. And it wasn't until about a couple months later, somehow, some way, Lee said something about it, and I was like, wait, that was fucking you? And he was like, yeah. I don't think he admitted it. Actually, he still hasn't admitted it, but it was definitely him.
I guess a girlfriend or fiance at the time, like, hey, honey, what is this?
No, I didn't bring that shit home. I did not bring that. No, I left it in I probably gave it to Isaiah. I probably gave it to Isaiah McKenzie, Little Dirty, we used to call him. I probably put it in front of his locker, and somehow, some way, it probably got blown up. And somebody probably, so you know what? Somebody probably took it home for sure.
Yeah, dirty little freaks.
I didn't see it after that. Somebody took it.
Yeah. It wasn't in the trash. I'll tell you. Maybe the janitor took it. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows, bro? If you could go back and relive one night from your NFL career, what would it be?
Relive one night from my NFL career. I think 2017, where we had to win in Miami to give us a chance to go to the playoffs. Obviously, Buffalo didn't go to the playoffs for 17 years before that. And we're in the locker room after the game watching the Cincinnati. You guys might already see the clip already. Watching the Cincinnati Ravens game. Cincinnati scored a touchdown to beat the Ravens. We clinched a playoff berth. That was on New Year's Eve, which is my birthday. That night we won in Miami. We flew back up to Buffalo that night, and it was just such a crazy experience because that was our first year there. We made it to the playoffs. It was my birthday. Friends and family were in town. We all went to a club and was hanging out. And it was just a cool experience just being a part of that team and also, clinching the playoff berth for that community and just being able to share it with everybody.
It's super cool, man. Especially that first year, too.
Yeah.
Love it. Couple of rapid fires, and then we'll get you out of here. Best advice you've ever received?
You only get one chance to make a first impression. That's always stuck with me, right? Anybody that I meet, anybody that I encounter on a daily basis, I always try to be respectful and show my true colors, man, because you never know what people are going to be saying about you after you have that encounter.
One word to describe your NFL career.
One word to describe my NFL career. Blessed, man. Cherished every moment of it, put my heart and soul into it. No regrets. Even without the Super Bowls, I could care less, man. We'd be able to meet people from all over the world and have those stories, those memories I can, share with my kids and help them build their character and stuff like that. Just extremely blessed.
And then one word to describe this next chapter of your life.
Eager, excited, because I want to kind of instill that same philosophy that I learned my entire life when it comes to just hardworking, being honest, being real, being true within Hyde's Hail Mary, right? We've had a few people that, due to the cold weather, we've shipped some product to, and it just explodes in the mail, right? Like there's nothing we can do about that. But I love hearing those type of stories because that gives us an opportunity to be able to reach out to those people, but hey, extremely sorry, it was out of our control, but what can we do to make it right? Obviously send new product and stuff like that, but just be personable. And so I'm excited to kind of build this brand organically and, having conversations with you guys and, just stuff like this. I'm extremely eager and excited.
Yeah, love it, man. I think the hats come in tomorrow. So we're looking
there
at
we go.
The Rock the merch. It's got a nice little design on it. These are great, man. We rebranded after 4.5 years, and we've been pushing for a really cool sponsor like this. So we appreciate you, brother.
Of course, man.
For not only coming on the podcast, but trusting us to kind of rep your brand. And I know you guys kind of want to push the Nashville market here. Am I hearing that correctly there?
Yeah, correct, man. We're open to doing it, wherever. Like we said, with small business. But no, once again, appreciate you guys helping us build our brand, right? Like. Yeah. This is a partnership. We're excited. You guys, you have the lemon in front of you. Hopefully you have some apple as well. If you don't, let me know.
Yeah, we got them. Tasty, man. Tasty.
There we go.
Dude, appreciate you coming on. Congrats on the career. Congrats on the brand. We're excited to be rocking with Hyde's Hail Mary. Use promo code same time next week 15 for 15% off. Link in episode description. Like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Micah Hyde, appreciate you, brother.
Man, thank you guys. We'll talk soon.